It is now live. So in 3, 2, 1, guys, we are ready. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second night of the E3 podcast. This is the Sony keynote with me at Tozol.
Yeah, hi, it's Ricky here. Hello. Just before you continue, Toz, you've gone. Oh, there you are. You're back.
No, right, no. It looks like it is. And before we go on, guys, obviously this is now. We want to apologise for the quality of it. There is Steve and there is Ricky, and pleasing to see, or may not be to some viewers. I apologise that Steve's face is now on there. But in all seriousness, guys, we have noticed that the quality of this feed is not very, very good. It is all new. It's been fun. Got loads of feedback. It is something we're testing. We are trying to see if it's can get better. What we will say, Ricky is actually in a hotel room, which we didn't mention yesterday. So that could be one of the problems as well. So we will probably try the podcast this weekend coming up. So fingers crossed it works. Feedback is welcome, guys. crankytoz@gmail.com. But let's crack on with this show. We've just been talking. I think Ricky's watched the Sony show about half an hour ago. Steve watched it this morning. Daft fool me stayed up until 4 AM in the morning to watch it, which got great derision from my family. Thought I was crazy, which we all know I am anyway. So anyway, guys, let's crack on. It also started, it was a question people want to know first off who was going to come out on the stage, because we all know, of course, Jack Tretton was sadly, well, was he pushed? Or did he fall or did he run off? Nobody knows. But
no, where did he go? Because he was on it all day, wasn't he?
He was on, because, I mean, I don't know if you know the history, but he was on Spike TV, which I watched actually last night. That's how I watched the coverage. I watched their coverages, and I don't know why I didn't go to it with the Microsoft one. They was on for, I think, about 12 hours throughout the day. And I think I was tweeting to you guys after the show when I was trying to edit and stuff that they were showing better quality videos than we'd already seen all day, I think. I joined it when they were showing Borderlands, the new one that's coming. But yeah, I think their coverage is phenomenal. So anyway, Andrew House comes onto the stage to kick off, and a lot was spoke about how good this was. The kick-off, we all said, well, was Microsoft good at the start, bad at the end, or whatever? But they jumped straight in with a pretty cool intro of Destiny. But not only did they show Destiny to kick off, they announced some pretty cool stuff for PlayStation 4 owners, no doubt. So what did you think of that, Ricky? Because they've offered, what have we got? Looking at my notes, we've got an early look at the beta, which starts pretty soon. We can get an even play of it, I think.
There's an alpha, isn't there, coming very soon, isn't there? Yeah, and then there's a game. Yeah, I like the look of it, and what I do like, and this is the most important thing for me, is stuff's available now. Well, nearly now. I know not now, but nearly now, and you don't have to wait till the next year to get it, which was the key thing. And I think that's I always like the Apple conferences where they say, "Here's the new gadget," here it is, and it's available tomorrow. That's kind of what they do with Apple. I know you can't do it with the games, but
well, actually, there's one in a little while when we skip past the first bit in a couple of seconds. Actually, I'll be able to tell you about that, and I was going to ask you about that. But Steve, what was your thoughts of Destiny? Because I know that you Xbox fans are really wanting it as well, but it looks like PlayStation jumped a bit forward, haven't they?
I quite liked it, actually. It did look like Halo, though, still. I can't see Bungie not getting away from that tag, to be honest.
No,
but,
I agree with that.
It's good, though.
It is, it looks, and like I say, the actual start of the show, I was talking to Ricky earlier off air that we said that they pushed on the exclusivities so much. They pushed on, early stuff, and new IPs. You heard me talk last night that my disappointment with Microsoft was it was a bit same old, and I just thought for the first, half hour, 40 minutes of this one, they really pushed the boat out with a lot of new stuff. I don't know if that's how you guys thought.
Oh yeah. It was just it was lots of new stuff. I mean, there was that. Excuse me for not remembering every title because I've literally just finished watching it. It's over 2 hours, and I didn't have the ability to make notes. So I'm kind of relying on Toz to spark my memory of the game that was Entwined. Was that the next?
The next one that came along. I mean, in order. I mean, I'll go through the notes. Like I said, Destiny we've covered. That was the first big push, saying we've got beta and all that. Then it come to a next cool video. I'll tell you what they did start. I've just missed one of my notes, which was pretty important. I don't know if you guys were interested. They showed an amazing white PS4. What's your thoughts on that one?
Very nice. That's going to be with the Destiny release, isn't it, in November?
I think, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was going. It kind of felt like you're going to get this beautiful white PS4, beautiful white controller. That'll look totally out of place with everything else, but it is beautiful. The game, and then they bolted on 30 days of PS Plus, didn't they? At the end, which was a couple of quid.
It was still nice. I mean, I don't know if that'll make anybody jump forward, because like you say, white, and it did look very white as well. I know that's a stupid statement, but it did look very, very white.
Yeah. Have you guys ever jumped in for these sort of different coloured consoles ever?
I've never ever bought a console on kind of, like the Gears of War ones or anything like that. No, I don't know about you, Steve. Have you?
No, I've had a white Xbox, I've had a black Xbox, but white shows up dust, to be honest. So I'd rather stick to a nice black one.
I have to say though, both my PS4 and Xbox show dust and made it just unbelievably. I can actually wipe and clean my both systems, and they can both show dust within the same day. So they're just magnets, aren't they?
Yeah, I got the Xbox, the red one. With I think it was Resident Evil Xbox 360, and I sold the game the same day.
Really?
but I quite like the console. It was a bit of a, I had burning some cash, so I picked that up. But yeah, the console's not going to tempt me, but the game is, and the fact
Destiny.
that we'll talk about this more, but imagine that can be played on your Vita. It's going to be ridiculous, and some of the stuff that we saw, being able to play in your hand is incredible.
Yeah, that's coming on later. Like you say, they cover quite a lot in this show. Moving on to the next video clip, and this is again, I think we spoke about this a few weeks ago on the podcast, where they seem to be telling us about these games that have been delayed till 2015, but then take great pleasure showing us some awesome footage and video. And this next video was an absolute cracking video of the Order 1886, where showed some fantastic gameplay, a horror game, and I thought that looked pretty cool. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it kind of went straight from video into gameplay, didn't it? Which
that's what I liked.
It looked absolutely fantastic. I thought, as it was kicking up, and I haven't seen much of the Order in terms of any video or gameplay, and I was just thinking, PlayStation 4 has got a lot of dark corridor survival horror games, so it was I didn't know what it was to start with, but as soon as I saw that guy's big moustache holding the lantern, I thought, this is the Order.
Very impressed. I realised that. Does that impress you, Steve? Did you like the look of that one?
Yeah, well, I remember seeing it last year when with Jeff Keighley going through it, and it didn't show too much, but I'm pretty impressed with it now. It looks pretty cool. It's one of those things I may never get to play, really,
Well, wait till you buy your white PS4. I'm sure you will.
or your Sony TV.
Yeah. The thing about the Order, though, what I noticed is that I think I've heard IGN talk about it, where they said they went to get some lucky gameplay right before it was actually delayed, and they quoted as saying, I think the guy came back and actually said, this game looks unready and not very good. Which was quite surprising. So it was. Okay. I think the delay is needed for want of a better word. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Moving on then, guys. The next thing, and this one was going back to what you addressed earlier, and this is one got me very excited. It showed a very arty video. And I've typed in my notes like two floating birds, looked like Journey, that kind of feel of a game, and that looked pretty cool. Then they came out to talk about it, and it's about a game about two souls that can't be together and all this rubbish. But then they came on and showed a bit of gameplay, and it's quite cleverly, intriguingly, each of the sticks controls one each of the flying creatures, which I thought. But then
someone nearly came through the wall.
Oh, right. It didn't come across here, so you're all right. No. What happens, though, guys, with that game, and this was the big thing that you spoke about, they actually announced that it was available right now in the PlayStation Store for $9.99.
Yeah. No, very. I think I need to see it first. I need to see a little bit more of it. It reminded me a tiny bit of Res, the floating, and you kind of you start off as that sort of bits, and then you gradually become more. So it's kind of a combination of that, obviously, with better high res graphics. And like the fact that he said it's available now, and in fact, if some of you get out your Sony mobile app, you can order it now and it'll be there when you get home.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, so that appeals to me.
Do you know, I mean, I immediately thought of this. You know, in E3's gone by, and I think Xbox especially used to be massive on, as soon as the keynote had finished, you could log on to your 360 and there were demos, there were games to play, they offered like most of what they'd shown for you to actually play. And you don't get that anymore, do you? So,
no, not at all.
Did you like the look of this one, Steve, or is that not the kind of game appeals, the journey kind of flower type games?
It didn't float my boat. Mind you, I didn't see enough of it to see what it was like, to be honest. But they were up there very briefly, really. I thought it didn't seem too long, you know.
Yeah, I may try and I might buy this weekend because I've got to admit I quite like the look of it, given the art style and stuff. The next thing that came on was probably the first, I think, that drew the big first whoop and all the cheers and laughter and some cracking gameplay because they announced, and this is one of them things that's very hard to do at E3. I think it was a big secret because nobody leaked this anymore. It was, of course, Littlebigplanet 3 coming to PS4. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It looked. I mean, it's there's nothing majorly new. I know they got more depth, and I like the way they introduced the new characters. That was quite. I did chuckle when I saw that first glove sock thing.
Wait a minute, I've actually wrote all the names down. There were 4 different characters. The first one that came on was called Oddsock. He looked like a little dog. Then the next one, Toggle. Then there was Swoop. It was the star of the show, in my opinion. But basically, they showed 3 new characters that basically they've made it so it interacts to help in the environment of the game, which I thought was cool. Although I jokingly said to you off air that they were useless at playing it on stage, weren't they? If it wasn't for the flying bird, there would be no how.
Yeah. I wonder if they were getting. They only had about 3 or 4 minutes, and it was like, come on, don't mess up.
That girl was awful,
that girl, when she was trying to do the step jump at first, the wall jump, she was terrible. Well, it's actually
she only needs to play Explosion.
Yeah, true. November, that was another surprising announcement this year. Does it interest you though, Ricky?
No betas.
You going to be getting it?
Oh, yep, I've got the other 2. Still play them. My son loves them, and I love the announcement that all the multiplayer is available straight away from that's been created on Littlebigplanet 2 to Littlebigplanet 3 with better enhanced graphics. So that was good. I like that. Yeah.
If you're one of the designers,
and that's kind of the thing
Go on.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing I want, and it's kind of the thing I like. I don't ignore all the time and effort we put into the previous console, and and the games, and that's one thing that's disappointed me a little bit with Microsoft. They've just ditched the arcade. All that money I spent on the arcade, and I can't play any of it unless I keep the 360, which I have. But
that's one of my gripes of having an Xbox One. I know we're digressing this to Sony, but just on that point, Ricky. The point of how successful the arcade was and how much of a really big thing that it was, to now literally not have anything like that on the Xbox One, I think it's wrong. They need something of that thing. So, but it was good. I must admit, I'm not a great fan of Littlebigplanet, to be honest. I've tried both of them, not laid heavily into them, but it was, it's going to be good. It looked better, very good.
Yeah, I think it excels in local multiplayer by a long shot. I mean, I play with my son, and we have a great time on it.
Oh, I've never tried that, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's just because it's kind of local multiplayer is with the invention of Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. It's rarer that you actually play with somebody in the same room at the same time. It's usually over the internet or not at all, or with their ghost Drivatar and things like that, and Trials HD has got downloadable ghosts, so you don't really get that feel. But Littlebigplanet still has that feel to it, although you can play online multiplayer as well.
Has Littlebigplanet ever interested you, Steve, at all?
I'd like to give it a go. Even if I get to go in a shop and try it, I think it would be something I could, it's something you could put on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes to spend a bit of time and go from there. We can put it down, come back. You know, very easy to pick up and play, I think.
Did you ever try designing your own level, Ricky, at all? Because I can remember very way first back on the Littlebigplanet 1, I actually went to try and make a Cranky Gamers level, and I actually spent hours upon hours trying to do it. It was very easy to do, and very, you know, to play about with all the bits and bobs, and it was quite good, I've got to say. Have you ever done it?
Yeah, I did it on Littlebigplanet 1. No, nothing. Rubbish. I'm not that. I just haven't got a creative mind. I wonder if my son might have now, because he's, you know, he makes all these Hunger Game worlds in Minecraft. I wonder if he would embrace it and get the tools to make it. And you never know, if he kind of gets into that, he might get into, is it Knack on the Xbox One, where you got the whole creation design. I mean, it's appealing to that creative mind. Project Spark, sorry, yeah, that's right, on the Xbox last night, and that I think is creating. I might be a generation away, you know, missing mine and my generation. I don't know about you're in the same generation as me, I'd like to think, and probably it doesn't appeal to you either. So I think you just want to play the bloody thing.
Old, Ricky, I'm afraid. I know that we might look it on camera, very old and decrepit. We're not that old.
Does that mean I'm in the next generation after you, then? Does it, or what?
Yeah. Anyway, moving quickly on to one of the big announcements, or one of the big highlights of the show for me. I don't know about you. I wasn't a big fan of Far Cry 3, I have to say. But the next video clip that came up was a real good chunk of Far Cry 4 video play, and it was very, very good. In fact, I would say stunning. Gyrocopters, elephants, some amazing mountainous clips. Vicky, that you said earlier it excited you. You thought it was great.
Oh, I loved it. It looked fantastic. The good thing about it is all gamers are going to experience pretty much the same thing. I don't think there's going to be much difference between the two console versions of that, and maybe even the PC. I would imagine is going to get a good experience. But wow, didn't it look good? I love the way he. I know he. It was all for the video, but he called his friend in that little gyrocopter, and they went off and did things, and it looked good. What I didn't get was, why didn't the elephant explode at the end with the car?
You know, funny you should say, because when I saw the elephants, I'm thinking they're going to have all these do-gooders jumping on board saying, oh, you can't be killing elephants, you can't be showing this. And as soon as it ran into there and it exploded, I thought, well, it's not done anything. And they quickly cut away, didn't they? So,
yeah.
Was you a fan of
Far
Cry 3? Did you like it?
Oh yeah, I absolutely loved it. I didn't get very far on it because I just kind of got to that point where it just Steve's camera froze my end. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, he's back, is he?
There we are. Sorry, you had a happy smiley face for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Did I really? There's nothing here. I'm on my own. Trust me.
Oh, did you enjoy Far Cry 3, Steve?
I did. Yeah. I did think the same thing as yourself. When I saw the elephant go down, I was just seeing the complaints coming through, just saying that we are no harming to these animals was done during this video. You know.
I'll tell you one thing that did blow me away, though, boys. Whether you noticed this yourselves, I mean, at the very end of that video, when he'd shown the things and everything, he made a statement on stage that it says the game's out in November, which it was cool, and he said your friends can join the game even if they don't have the game. How?
Yeah, Xbox. This is sharing, isn't it?
But how? I mean, how can... He said that people are going to be able to join your Far Cry 4 game even if they don't have the game. How?
Yeah, it must be you must be using the streaming technology that they've got to be able to do that.
I would have liked him to elaborate a little bit on that, though, wouldn't you?
Nah, just accept that it's going to work and let's enjoy it.
I know we're jumping forward, but isn't that something to do with the upstream or you stream for Twitch, maybe?
Oh, you was talking about the bit when, because that happens now on PlayStation. I don't know if you're aware of it, but on PlayStation you can have some integration with games. I think Tomb Raider had it, where people that was watching your Twitch stream, I think they could type something like health or die, and if you when you type die, it put more opponents on the screen, and if you type health, it healed you.
Dead Nation has got it as well, where you can put yourself.
I do believe that
someone else's game is a zombie.
Tomb Raider had a problem though; it didn't work most of the time. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
But it's intriguing, and they didn't say that later. But yeah, they do go on to say that later. Interesting part that came on now, where it comes on. Probably one of the funniest clips I've seen this E3 so far. it showed a really brilliant clip of a young guy, fancied himself a bit, headphones, trainers, shorts, out for a jog in the sunny weather, looks at this nice girl as he runs, he covers a little scratch up on his arm, runs off, headphones on, chaos behind him, zombies everywhere, pans out, he slowly turns into a zombie and shows us Dead Island 2. My favourite clip of E3 so far. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, totally over it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Does the game interest you, by the way, Dead Island 2?
No, the other two weren't as weren't so hot, were they? They were very good, but they were just got a bit samey, in my opinion. I don't know. Is this going to go down the Dead Rising route with the comedy zombie horror?
I don't know. I mean, I've got to say, I think
slant on it.
I think to me, it's confusing to me as well. I'm not a great zombie game fan, but one of the zombie games I did enjoy, and I'm sure it was Dead Island 1. Wasn't Dead Island 1 where it started off in the hotel, and then in the complex? This is the second one to this, and I thought they'd already made one though. Am I getting mixed up?
They did Riptide, which wasn't a numbered Dead Island.
Got you.
Yeah,
that wasn't
so maybe that was just an extent.
But,
no, which was a shame.
Yeah, it looks very good, this one does, I've got to say. Looking at my notes, next things they talked about was Last of Us, obviously coming very shortly on PS4. They showed a clip of that, I think we'd all seen before. They spoke of Diablo 3, the new version coming. What else have I got in? A kind of...
Does that interest you?
What, the...
Diablo 3?
Well, you know,
with the extra DLC there.
Well, Diablo 3, I'm mad for it. You know that I've played it, finished it twice. I think I'm on my third playthrough. I will get it on the PS4 again, I think, purely because the only way I've got to play it now is on PC, and I've got to come upstairs and play it. So to have it on my console again, and I will say, having played all that content and the superb bits they're doing on the end, I think it's a must-buy for any. Honestly, it's one of the best games you'll play. And I keep telling everybody that asks me, I get loads of mails asked about it, that they're both on demos, are online now. Diablo 3 demos, just the standard version. Download it, try it. It's a phenomenal game. And this new version just looks brilliant. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I probably will. I'm looking at my notes, moving on now. I'm trying to skip through some things that were not.
Just before you do, what about the Last of Us? Now I got a bit of a. Is this where they? Did they announce The Last of Us here, or was that a bit later on?
I've got it in my notes. Yeah, I think last of it came on. It said The Last of Us is coming. Diablo 3. I've got then Dead Island beta exclusive to PS4. Also, they announced in this section the beta of Hardline Battlefield was available right now, and you can download that on the PS4 now if you wish. I don't know if that interests you.
Did you do? Yeah, I'll get it. I'll have a look at that. I've been. What about yourself? Did you check it out, or you think?
I've not had a chance. No, I've been out. Actually, I've been out all day. I mean, I was going to jump on the PS4 today and see what was around on the system, but I'm not too keen on Battlefield. I've got to say, I'm not a fan of it. I know that this is a lot of people were excited. I saw a couple of chat feeds open on my friends' PS4 streams, and they were really excited about it. So, what about you, Steve?
Battlefield's huge.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? Battlefield interests you?
Yeah, I had a bit of fun with the last one, but obviously with all the hiccups, I sort of gave up on it. But they look at the trailer and the way it looks with cops and robbers is a good idea. I mean, I might even have to go into that somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the end of this section. I was going to say I've got cops and robbers written down and I couldn't tie it in, but you're right in what you say. It is tied to this Battlefield. That's what this Hardline clip was about, if I'm not mistaken. I think. So yeah, They then showed us a partnership with Disney for the Disney Infinity Edition with the Avengers. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the. I mean, this is massive, by the way. Honestly,
I know, but when he announced it, he had to go. He announced it, and then it was like tumbleweeds, wasn't it? And he went, "Yeah."
I've got to say, in this whole thing, in this 2-hour show, I think they did very well. But there's 2 points in it, I think, that died on the backside. This was one of them, and we'll talk about the one later because that was just. I can't believe they gave much time to it. I hope we're speaking at the same thing, but we'll see later anyway. They then went on to a couple of. They showed a very nice, funny video with a partnership with Paradox Studio of this like kind of depressed, hooded wizard in his house, set his cat on fire, looking like he was out of work, really depressed, sat there, and I thought that was a cool video, and it was to announce that Magicka 2 was coming out. I've not played Magicka original. I don't know if you guys have played it, seen it, but I must admit the clip of it, a little bit of a top-down, like a gauntlet type of gameplay. It looked to me.
Yeah, I've got it on Steam. I think I got it as part of a bundle somewhere at some point in time, so I should maybe check it out. Is
that one of them 200 games that half of them you've not played?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
It's the thing is, it must be huge for it to be part of a Sony E3 announcement to sneak its way on stage. You know, must be a massive fan base for it. I thought the video was hilarious.
The video was fantastic.
And it's a testament to how good things have got these days. Because I kind of looked at it and I kind of had to look at it again. I couldn't work out if it was CGI or whether it was real. You know, real.
Do you know what?
You know, obviously it was real, but
it's funny you should say that because I questioned that. Is it CGI or is it real? The point I thought was when he was sat at the table and he'd got his arm on the table, and I actually had to closely look twice, think to myself, is that a real man or not? But it was good.
Exactly.
They did some good videos. But anyway, the way they did this next thing, I don't know if you thought it was cool or not. New guy comes on stage. I didn't get his name, so apologies. Showed the way that apparently people have been sending letters into PlayStation, and they played a real cool one, a fun one, saying it was from a 12-year-old girl. Please help me get some old games that we love and all this. And then they funnily zoomed to the corner of the letter, and it said it's got a hairy thumbprint on it, and it zoomed out, and it was, of course, this young girl was apparently asking, can't we have some of Tim Schafer's old games, which I thought was funny. And then they zoomed out, and obviously, of course, it was sent by Tim Schafer. And what it was, an announcement, and I spoke to you earlier about this. This came out of the blue, another brilliant secret. Grim Fandango is coming to PlayStation 4 and Vita. The crowd went mental. I've got to say, you sounded surprised, but I thought that's a phenomenal... I mean, I'm guessing you guys have got to have played Grim Fandango.
I can't remember it, to be honest.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
You're not going to say the same, aren't you, Ricky? I can see by that vacant look on your face.
No, it's one of my games of all time.
Yeah, I bet it is. Oh, seriously, have you played it? Honestly, you haven't, have you?
It was on the PlayStation 2?
I think it was on, no, I think, to be honest, it's a PC-only game, and it was, I think...
Oh, crap. No, I haven't played it then.
Actually, it might be console. I know I've played it in some form, but it's the old-fashioned point-and-click adventure.
I might have played him in a kart racing game maybe at some point.
Looks like a dog kind of character. But anyway, it's a brilliant game, and you watch it when it comes out, and it will sell by the boatload. No news of when, where, or when, or on the store or whatever. So that was quite intriguing. They then went on to indie games, and they literally, I think, surprisingly, given the massive success or the massive talk up last year about PlayStation was supporting indie games, to me that they showed a similar clip that we criticised a little bit, I guess, last night of Microsoft, when they just literally showed a show reel pretty quickly, a little bit slower than Microsoft. I don't know if they slowed it down on purpose, but it showed us all the indie games, and it was the same. They're showing Hotline Miami. What else did they show? I mean, it was going that fast to get many down. That's the only one I noticed.
Yeah, it's Broforce, which is quite a popular PC game at the moment. But it's quite good towards the end. They had all the icons behind him, didn't he? Like of maybe 5 or 6 of the main titles, and their game icons. So there's some good stuff coming, and it's all going to be. I like the fact that probably most of that's going to be cross-buy as well. And he did mention cross-buy quite a lot last night, which I think is fantastic.
The cross-buy is amazing.
But that's just because
Just at this point, Steve, because I know it is hard for you only having an Xbox. I mean, this far into the show, halfway through, I know I'm trying to get you involved.
No worries.
I'll nudge you.
Oh wait, no.
What was your thoughts halfway through the show? Because I think we were about halfway through it at this point. It was a long one. I mean, was you getting to see anything at that point that you was interested in?
I've been seeing there was Far Cry. There was a couple of bits and pieces I'd like to have a look at on the PlayStation, but it got to the point that then they were digressing onto hardware and other bits and pieces. So it took me out of it for a bit when I was wanting to hear more games. I mean, I'm not going to knock them for it because they haven't decided to show it beforehand, so it was a part of their show. But you know, it's very hard. And then they're on about Sony Entertainment as well, so they were really, it's the whole global picture for them, isn't it? I think E3.
Yeah. I mean, the next thing we're moving on to, I mean, I mentioned this earlier in a small chat with Ricky. This next part for me that came on with the video was probably the biggest highlight of the entire show, and was a game I was so excited in seeing, and it opened up a video clip where it was a strange-looking, colourful dinosaur planet. It looked really nice. A kind of person was moving about. The environment looked amazing, and I was puzzled at what it was. Then he he jumped into a ship, and I'm thinking, well, okay, fair enough. What's he going to do? And he takes off. But then the mind-blowing thing, he shot up into space. Massive space battle going on, drove past that, landed down on another planet, and started again. And a guy came on stage and showed me. I don't think I wrote the name of the game down. I was that thing, No Man's Sky. That was it.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that for me, when the guy came on stage, he then spoke of no two games are the same. You start on a different planet. It's an open world. It's completely an infinitive world. He called it, just never ending. I mean, is this game for you guys? Because my highlight of the show, I have to say.
Could be the new Minecraft. I don't know. I don't know what you think.
What kind of gameplay?
I do. Yeah, I think.
Though.
Well, I'm not too sure, but I imagine that it's got a endless ultimate, planets. I mean, what are you going to be doing on these planets? That's the first thing, but because I don't really know much about it. But I do like the look of it. I feel chuffed for the developers. He was almost in tears, wasn't he?
He was a very excited man, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so and it looks really, really good. And if it's a small indie development company, then kudos to them. We should all support. And could this be the next big indie thing? And probably will. I mean, is it? It looks to me like it could go the way of Minecraft if it's got that endless kind of everyone has a different experience, because you create your own game effectively inside this beautiful world. So
did you like the look of it, Steve?
Well, I knew which game it was as soon as it came on the screen, and I remember it from last year, and I'm very envious that it's an exclusive for the PlayStation 4 as well. But hey ho, we all have what we would like to play. But no, I'd jump on that like tomorrow straight away. Love it.
I'm with Ricky though. I mean, I love the actual video they showed and the game concept. I though would have liked to have heard a little bit more of exactly what it was. What gameplay is it? What is the point of the game? We have got his own planet. Have we got to go and build on it? Kill things or whatever. They gave no clue, but
they didn't have enough time, though, did they? Really? Because what their show consisted of was a hell of a lot, and they didn't get time to give 5 10 minutes on a show through. Really, unfortunately.
Tried to cram a lot in, didn't they? But that's what these guys have got to do, and I think that's what a lot of gamers, when you see the chat and the nasty chat aimed at both of them. They didn't show this. They didn't show that. They just can't. The amount of stuff they've got to cram in, to an hour off, 2 hours show is crazy. I mean, I heard talk, and to be honest, I was that enthralled with the show, I'd completely forgotten. I saw an immediate tweet after on Spike saying they didn't even show Drive Club. I mean, that never entered my head, and I thought, yeah, you're right, they never showed Drive Club. So, but time, you're right, Steve, time is hard. Moving on then, after that great game, No Man's Sky. Andrew House came back on the stage, talked about the games, talked about hardware. I loved, by the way, I take it you got it, the amazing dig at the camera. When he talked about the PlayStation camera, it made me chuckle. Big splash screen on the back, and here we have our camera, one of our best-selling peripherals, and I thought, yeah, well, nice one. And I think he even said we are staying with it. But tongue-in-cheek, he went on to then talk about, of course, Morpheus, which I was going to ask you guys this. Did you think they'd have more of this on stage? I pretty guessed, and I'd heard before, that you can't really show it on stage in a live performance. You've got to have hands-on, because you, Steve, you're fortunate enough to have actually got your hands on how to play on Oculus Rift, haven't you?
That's right, yeah. There was a video on the BBC News showed, sorry, not Oculus, but Morpheus running this year.
Yeah.
And one of their guys was in a tank with the sharks going around him. They had a TV showing what he was looking at. So he moved his head down, you saw his feet and his knees, and as he looked round, the shark popped up at him. He jumped out the way, sort of thing.
Joking.
Pretty cool.
I saw a clip on Spike later. Actually, they'd got the developers from Morpheus on there telling people that come and try it on the show floor. They showed one of the best things because the reason they was talking about the camera's involved, the moves involved, but they also said there's development in it to where you need nothing. And they showed a clip of a guy, you know, the bodyboard racing in America where they go down the hill. They were showing a guy playing that, and he literally moved his head to steer, and he was going on like 145 mile an hour down a road, going under trucks, under buses, dodging. That looked really good fun, I've got to say. And I would like to.
Yeah,
you're not into it though at all, are you?
Not at all. Not at all. I've heard two situations of people that have used it that it's actually made them feel sick,
and that's
because of the motion sickness.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems.
And also, see how they're going to implement this into your gaming home. I really can't, because you need to have some awareness around you about, you know, people's homes aren't these massive wide open spaces. Some, you know, like my living room's crammed full of crap and kids stuff everywhere, and you know, and you know, the phone will ring or the doorbell will go, or I'm asked to do something, and it's kind of like you have to unhook yourself from this world, and I just can't see it being implemented. And I don't know how they're going to make the games. I mean,
you can imagine as well the first claim, can't you? I've turned around, a glass has gone smashing across the room, broke my best vase. What are you going to do about it? Please reimburse me.
Exactly. Now there is one game that it might work for.
Yeah.
And it's Football Manager. Imagine sitting on the bench and just sitting down, not moving, but looking left and right and seeing the whole pitch.
I think you're being a bit boring.
I can't see it.
I'm actually excited about this. I really am.
Your missus would be looking at you, running, what the heck's going on, while you're standing up and waving your hands.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I mean, in all seriousness, and I do get where you're coming from. I get that they've got a lot of hurdles to go over and things to look at. I applaud them for trying, but we know that, you know, it's a lesser of two evils. They get applauded for trying, then they get absolutely lambasted for, like, ditching Connect. So where do they go with it? Do they push this new technology, or do they stop doing it? I can't wait to see it, I've got to say. I'm interested. It would have been a good move, though, to just give some kind of price. I was half expecting him, actually, to stand there and say, we've listened to your questions, because I think he even quoted that. We've listened to what you want. And I was half expecting him to say, well, it's going to ship around November for about £99 or something like that, but that didn't ever come.
I don't think you'll see it. I don't think you'll see it for the next 2 years.
Do you think so?
I think E3 2016 you might have an idea of what it's going to be used. I just got a feeling that developers aren't going to, because they don't know how much it's going to cost yet, and they don't know if people are going to be able to afford it, so why develop anything for it? You know, it's another Connect in waiting. We've heard it many times.
Yeah, the only thing that they did say about it though, is that they've received massive developer support, haven't they? They said that a lot more people's jumped on board, having had hands-on and played it. So that's a good thing, I guess. So.
Yeah, I think maybe when I go to Eurogamer, I've got to get myself on it, and my thoughts may radically change, especially if there's Football Manager Simulator.
If there are, you'll make me laugh. Anyway, moving on.
Just sit on my ass.
Moving on, a big section to the show. A guy called Sean Layden came on stage, which is actually he's the new CEO of Sony America. A very lucky boy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He looks
very smart dressed, man.
He was very smartly dressed and a little bit nervous. What he did say, though, he goes on to talk about all the new stuff coming and the PSN stuff, and I've actually bullet pointed all this because he literally reeled a lot off, and there's a lot to get into. He mentioned Share Factory, the photo mode on Infamous, which I must admit, something I never touched, never tried it, but apparently it's popular. Interesting stat he gave, 95% of all PS4 owners are connected online, which I guess isn't that surprising. The share button, he gave a number of some crazy 210 million share button presses. But then, big cheers, and I think I actually nearly cheered myself until I realised it was 3:30 in the morning. YouTube is finally coming to
where I was.
Oh, honestly, I did. And I actually went, and I thought, no, it's 3:30. But in all seriousness, it's coming later in the year. I love the fact it's going to be directly connected to your YouTube account. Share button, upload. That will be, it will be used immensely, which I'm really pleased about. Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of times that I do some Twitch streaming from PS4, and I have to hop onto Twitch, and then I have to upload it to YouTube.
It just becomes a burden, don't it? I mean, I know it's possible now,
does.
like you say, you can go to Twitch, get the feed, download it, copy it, and whatever. But to have that next time will be brilliant.
So we finally catch up with Xbox on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did talk about Twitch, its success. Also, the thing Steve talked of earlier regarding being able to have an interaction with people's games, which was a cool thing, which is good. I must admit, I'm not bothered about actually doing that. And to be honest, I'd get pretty miffed if people were doing it to my game as well, if I'm being honest.
Can I just clarify what it is? It went quite quickly, and I didn't really understand what he was saying.
It was
just
basically
explain?
like, you know, when I was saying to Steve earlier, where in Tomb Raider you could have gone in and typed health or kill. If you've got your Twitch, and let me, and I'm pretty certain because I saw this when I was playing Tomb Raider, we do have control of turning it on and off. It's not always on. I'm pretty certain with that. So let's say, for example, I'm playing Tomb Raider. You guys jump onto my Twitch feed, and I've left it on. You can type in and say kill. 50 more enemies run onto the screen to kill me. If I'm dying and losing health, you type health, I get healed, or medipacks appear. Which, that's what they're pushing for, apparently, in more games. I've got to say, brave, but does it take off? I don't know. No?
I don't. Well, we'll wait and see.
Would you be interested in having it in your Twitch stream? If you was playing it, would you want people interacting with your game?
It's annoying, wouldn't it?
It's a
It
fun
might
one.
be.
Yeah.
It is. It depends. Yeah, I don't know. I probably won't use it, but you know, it depends on what it is. I need to see a bit more.
Okay, moving on then, guys. He moved on to talk about free play, which we all know games such as War Thunder, and I think I've spoke on the show that PlayStation have got a vast array already of free-to-play games, but they did show a bit of a video montage stating that 25 more games are coming to PlayStation on free-to-play, and I've got to say, in that clip, looked very good as well. There was a couple of nice games looking in there. So.
Shame the golf club wasn't in the part of it, wasn't it?
I have had news today about the golf club that I could be jumping on board the PS4 version pretty soon. So hopefully I will be able to see a golf ball finally, which has been the talk of Twitter.
Yeah.
Free-to-play games, though, just touching free-to-play games. One, to both of you, Steve, there's not that many on Xbox. Do you play any on PS4, Ricky? What's your thought on these free-to-play games?
Yeah, I've played War Thunder. I've dipped myself into DC Online. I like them, but there's nothing really grabbing me just yet. The only free-to-play game that I've given the most time to recently was the beta of FIFA on the PC. So
why don't that surprise me?
It's like an addiction. So
I think you need help, mate, to be truthful.
So, more free-to-play stuff, you're better. Something's gonna stick in at some point. So, and there's something for everyone. That's the main thing to say there.
Did you notice what they said on the screen there when they had the free-to-play video going on?
There are charges, didn't they?
It was saying that some of this is only available to free-to-play or something like that. I thought, we know they're going to go down what route.
Actually. I've actually wrote down what was said at the bottom. I knew I'd do it. It says here there was a small disclaimer saying some fees can be expected.
That was they were showing was it Fat Princess, weren't they? Which is quite a popular game.
Which, to be honest, though, guys, it was a good game. To be honest, though, guys, that free to play, that's what the mechanic is anyway. We all know that's the mechanic. Yeah. You know, and let's be honest, you don't need to spend any money. That's the clear fact in this. So. It's not all bad. Moving on now to probably, I know the news was going to come. I was very disappointed on how it was announced. It was all the talk of PlayStation Now, the massive investment of Gaikai and what they was doing, and the announcement went as follows. How easy it's been to entry the PlayStation Now, they've been tweaking and testing. It's going full beta across USA and Canada on July the 31st, it says. Also, interesting enough, said it was coming on to PS3 and Vita, which was another good one. What I will say, though, guys, really...
He didn't say Europe.
No, I was really sad to see no mention at all of Europe. Not even coming, early next year in beta in Europe. I thought it was very poor, I've got to say.
I wonder if I did visit America with my Vita, the fact that I've actually got an account. I wonder if that would work.
Well,
or Canada, maybe.
They did also mention slightly at the end, which I thought they may have pushed. They mentioned the costs are being worked out as well, to do with a rental kind of feeling. They didn't push it. There's got to be costs. It's not going to be free. What I will say, the next thing that they said, reading off, is also they're offering the PlayStation Now experience to a selected Sony TVs that's going to be inbred into there, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, we knew that. We knew that anyway, didn't we? So I don't know if you guys did. I knew that it's going to be available elsewhere.
Yeah, there's talk of plugging a PlayStation controller into your TV.
Yeah, actually, I think it says it. I wrote in the notes. It says some of the TVs that come and work with a DualShock, they're offering 100 games such as Dead Space 3, God of War, Metal Gear, Street Fighter 4, which was good. But I've put at the end of that piece, sadly, no mention of Europe, which it was poor. So, okay, he then moved on. Talks of commitment to the Vita. They moved on to the Vita, which I think was a point to all the pre-press talk where a lot of people thought this was going to get left by the wayside. And to be honest, all that they basically said that there are over 100 Vita titles in development. The Minecraft full version will be coming with co-op on the Vita, which I can see Ricky smiling away. So.
Yeah, look, that's in fact, I must pick it up for the PS3 because if you get it for that, you get the Vita version for free if you upgrade to PS4 version, which only costs another £5, so it's going to cost about 20 quid overall, I suppose, to get.
I don't know if I'm right in saying consoles. In Ricky, that was mentioned a few weeks ago. Actually, I remember a couple of casts saying it.
Yeah, it was.
Am I right in saying that? And I'm not trying to bash guys, so don't jump on me already. It doesn't happen on the Xbox One. You've still got to pay on the Xbox.
No, it does. It does. They
if you've got it on the 360, I thought you had to pay £5 to get it upgraded to the Xbox One.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you bought it on the PS3 here, you can have it free on the PS.
On the Vita.
On the Vita, not the PlayStation 4.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's where the confusion lies.
PlayStation 4 is a £5.
Yeah, I thought to myself, that was what it was very confusing, wasn't it? They were saying it was free somewhere, and that's where the confusion comes from then, guys. So, yeah, that's cleared that up. Okay. What else? Next games on my list. He moved on to the Tokyo Game Show phenomenon, excuse me, that was, of course, the PlayStation TV little mini box. I don't know if you guys remember that being showed last year. Well, it's coming to Europe. For it says $99, which I thought was a bit silly announcing it for US and America, but I'm not mentioning that price. But they said $99 with a bundle for $139, which included a memory card and Lego movie game and a controller. This is a snazzy piece of kit, by the way. I don't know if you're interested, Ricky or Steve. I don't know about Steve, but it's pretty cool.
Idea,
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Good idea.
Yeah. I mean, think of somebody like me as a traveller. The portable, is it taking Sony into that portability to take around? Not just having it sat under the telly. I mean, because I could never take my PS4 on the road.
No, I mean
maybe go down the road of the alternative.
For people that, just a quick recap for people who don't know what the Sony TV is, it's a tiny little box and it is small. It literally enables any PS4 owner to take the box upstairs or into any other room, plug it into a TV, and basically do what kind of the Vita does, and that's remote play PS4 games on the big TV. And it's got a lot more bells and whistles that they went into. But yeah, it's a nice piece of kit. It could sell well, I've got to say. We shall have to wait and see. Would you buy one, Ricky, just out of interest?
No. I've only got two big main tellies, and the ones downstairs. The bedroom, I don't really play games on the big TV in the bedroom. But if it would work on the road. Yeah. Maybe, because I'm sat next to a 30-inch plus TV to my left here, and there's nothing plugged into it apart from this laptop.
Yeah, no mention of how portable it really is, did it? They said it was portable, but no mention on how exactly. So, anyway, next thing, moving on, guys. After the PlayStation TV, it was talking about. They showed a clip. I mean, I've got to say, not my cup of tea at all, but the clip was cool. Mortal Kombat X, the first exclusive gameplay trailer. of Mortal Kombat. Are you guys Mortal Kombat fans? I've got to say, I do not like fighting games at all. Not interested.
I used to be.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic. But did you play the previous one? That was free on PlayStation Plus at one point last year, maybe the year before. And it was very good, but of course you need to play Twister on your controller in order to produce any of the stuff that they're showing you. And you know what I mean? You kind of go, okay, it goes, every now and again it'll go, finish him, and you go like this, and then the guy will just fall over because you haven't done anything.
Correct.
So that's how I play Mortal Kombat, but I'm sure there are people who are very good at it and will love it. I think they'll have it. It looks amazing.
Are you a fan, Steve, of Mortal Kombat, or are you not bothered?
I remember playing it back on the early Sega machines.
Yeah.
It would have been the Master System. I played it on there. And I do agree with you, the fatalities are great, but they were hard to pull off.
Have any of you ever pulled one off? Because I know that I never have. And I've had books and things and reading it, and not a chance in hell.
Not intentionally.
No.
Yeah, but again, I must admit the crowd actually cheered quite loudly about that game.
Oh, they did. Yeah. Fighting games are huge in the States. I think you put that one up against Street Fighter. There's a new version of that on the way, isn't there? Street Fighter, whatever it's called, and that will probably have that sort of cartoony effect. This looks very
gory,
very real, very gruesome. The X-ray kind of. Oh my
smashing bones and crushing skulls. It was awesome.
That's right. The bit where there was a hole in the guy's body and his heart just popped into the space. It is absolutely gruesome. And I think the worst one on the previous game was where the guy with the guy with the Spanish hat, he threw it on the floor and it turned into a buzzsaw. Yeah. And he grabbed the other guy and he just pulled both his legs and he just tore him in half with a buzzsaw. They are very, very inventive games.
I take it's got an 18 rating, has it?
No, it's a 12.
No way.
No.
I was going to say no way on here.
Yeah, no, it's probably triple
Let's move on then, because we've got a bit to get through. Moving on to, this was the bit I mentioned earlier in the show that probably received a lot more time than it should have. A guy comes onto the stage, talks about deals with Sony Pictures and stuff, and then moved on to a comic book series. And all this, I think they're trying to make a bit similar to Halo, isn't it, where they're making the TV series for the console kind of people. But a lot of time was given to this. I mean, I might be showing my real, naivety where comic books are coming. But a series called Powers, apparently it's a comic from Marvel, and this guy came on stage. But they talked quite a long time about this, about the series had been developed, and I think the biggest news at the end, people on PlayStation Plus get it for free in the USA, I think was mentioned. Did this interest you?
Episode, though, isn't it?
No, but the first episode's free for everybody, but if you've got PS Plus in USA, you get the entire series free, I think he said.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Did it interest you, or was this the low point of the show for you? I know it was for me.
It was toilet break. It was toilet break. Because the guy who came out introducing it looks like he should be one of the characters in the TV show, because he did look very odd. He looked like an evil Superman character.
He was some famous guy, though, wasn't he? I mean, excuse my name. I think he was somebody quite famous, Marvel-y kind of person. I might be wrong.
Okay.
But anyway.
We're insulting him.
Yes, we are. Comic fans were going crazy. But anyway, next part, and this was probably my disappointing section of the whole thing, he moved on to the category of PlayStation Plus. And I thought, oh, here we go. Let's see some new, add-ons or price points, or bringing this or this, that, and the other. He literally said the only thing he mentioned with PlayStation Plus was that people was getting the Powers TV series for free, and that was it. Not another mention of PlayStation Plus or any deals. I mean, I suppose I look back on it after and thought to myself, well, what more else can they do, really? Not a lot, can they?
No. You're getting 2 games. I think that they've just made a change to PlayStation Plus, aren't they? Where you're going to get 2 games.
2 games on every system.
On every system every month, and aren't they getting rid of those static ones like Uncharted and XCOM? They're going to disappear, aren't they?
Yeah, they're moving forward now. What I'm interested in, saying that, and this is, I think we spoke about it last week on the show, me and Steve, I think, when you wasn't here.
Oh right, yeah.
We said that 2 games a week. What's interesting about that? Where are they going to find 2 games for the PlayStation 4.
There might be, yeah.
Sooner or later, they've got to give, I think, and this is what everybody keeps asking me if I've heard anything, when are they going to give us one of the original release titles?
Yeah, one of the big games.
It's coming. And
no, my luck, it'll be bloody FIFA.
No, well, it'll be Knack. My big guess at a tip. I think Knack
Sony
will be.
game,
Yeah, it'll be Sony's Knack will be the first free one. That's my guess anyway.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
anyway,
maybe.
Next thing that then drew an absolute, another no dust rolling across the floor kind of moment. Ratchet and Clank the movie.
Oh God.
A clip was shown 2015, and that just literally went silent. I think I felt a bit sorry for them. Yeah.
No, unfortunately, this got the skip treatment for me. I mean, I was watching a replay of the scheme, and
yeah, you was lucky. I had to sit through it.
So this must have been about 2 a.m., 2:30 for you, maybe 3 o'clock.
We are now near the end of the notes. There's only a couple of more mentions I've got in these notes, guys, so it must have been really late, about 3:30 in the morning. So yeah, I thought.
Surprised you didn't fall asleep, to be honest.
Honestly, and the funny thing is, when I went to bed, I went to bed at 4:05. I didn't get to sleep for another 40 minutes because watching that kind of thing with headphones on, and you're buzzing, aren't you? You're watching video. Your brain is not ready for sleep, and it was a horrible evening last night. So, anyway, next one, the big clip of Metal Gear, Phantom Pain. It was a cracking clip. I'm excited for this because I think, Steve, I don't know, you've not gone back to the one that people slagged off a little bit for having short gameplay. I actually praised it quite a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
But this new one looks phenomenal.
I was waiting for the whole showpiece to come out. Come on, hurry up, you know.
Yeah.
And the visuals are impressive. It's going to be a great game. I can't wait for it, really.
I agree. On to one of the next big. I think a lot of people are going to start complaining about this. And I saw this. I thought this when I read it. The big announcement that Grand Theft Auto 5 is being given the remix treatment and coming to PS4 this autumn with new enhancements. But get this one. The end of this blew my mind. You can transfer your character to this PS4 version from any machine, including the Xbox. So that's crazy.
Okay, so your GTA Online character. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. That's going to cost me over £100 that month because I will get the PC and the PS4 version.
Really?
Without a doubt. Absolutely, without a doubt. It just don't play it as much because I don't go on the old Xbox 360 anymore, which is a shame. You know, I've moved on a little bit. Occasionally going back for the odd game like Watch Dogs, but
did you used to play the GTA 5 online mode then? Because it got an horrendous start, didn't it? The start of it absolutely died a death.
Yeah, it did. It did. I actually used to play with Rob, the host of the Control Zone podcast that we do, and we probably gave that a good 10-15 hours online.
Really?
But we always suffered, and we both agreed that when one or the other wasn't on, it wasn't as much fun. If you were just in with randoms, it felt a little bit. There's only about eight plus people in each world, so it felt a little bit empty. But it's great fun when there's two of you. Absolutely amazing fun. So really enjoyed that.
Go on, Steve. You were going to say something.
Yeah, because I had played with about 4 guys once, and we were in a car together, and it was great fun doing that. And it's to say, if you're on your own, this guy's trying to pop you up and nick your money all the time, so you make sure you don't have enough money in your account or in your pocket. So because people just sitting there, it's just.
Yeah, there was the controversy, weren't there? Was it where you earned money in the game, and if you couldn't transfer it to your bank account in time, people could nick it?
Yes, and they'd shoot you and run up with your money.
Oh,
so it is controlling the game, there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't done much. They haven't done any sort of storyline DLC, have they? It's all been GTA Online since release.
I think I heard after this show, though, Ricky, later on, I can't remember where I saw it, either this morning, where I think I've just got written in the notes to mention new enhancements and stuff, and I've heard that there are going to be some new single-player content. But one question I want to ask you guys, I don't think this is an exclusive, is it? This is...
No, it's on the 360.
Xbox One it's coming to as well, I think, as the PS4 is what I've heard.
That's right, yeah.
Are you both interested in getting this? Because I finished the single player, thoroughly enjoyed it, never touched the multiplayer. I can't say I'm not bothered about this one.
Purely for online for me.
Right. What about you, Steve?
I won't touch the single player.
I'll rent it and give it a go. I've got to give it that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it looks. Yeah, I mean, for me, the reason I don't, GTA 5 for me, the storyline was a cracking storyline, and it's one of them games kind of, once you've found out the exciting parts, I can't see the point in playing it again. It's one of them storylines that just need to be played once. So.
Well, you see, the real key here is on the PC. Now,
yes, come on.
Currently on the PC on GTA 4, there's so many mods and enhancements that are available for it. I mean, I saw a clip the other day of Iron Man in the strip club. You know, just sat there, lazing back, you know, having a lap dance.
Yeah.
Iron Man, for God's sake, you know.
Crazy.
So there's things that PC community does that you can't do on the consoles, but it just enhances and it gives it longevity. Not much more.
Okay, getting towards the end of the show, guys. Only two more big things to talk about, really, before we give us views on the entire show. Very good clip. Got to say, this is a game again, just been delayed, 2015, I think, late 2015. Batman Arkham Knight. They played a video, and a good chunk of a video, which actually was a cracking piece of a clip. I had a few people moaning that Batman doesn't fly, he shouldn't be doing this, and the car shouldn't be morphing like that, and all this rubbish. I've got to say, getting a bit bored of Batman games, but this looked pretty cool. Before I get your views on it, the ending of that video, I don't know if you guys caught it, when they panned out to the place where the stadium, to show all lights crackling, and it looked like the game had failed, the clip had failed, and it froze, and everybody was like really panicking. But what happened, that the character Scarecrow came on screen, and it was all part of the video, and just basically said that, you know, Scarecrow's coming to Batman, and also that PS4 exclusive content for Scarecrow was on it. I like the look of that game, guys. What's your thoughts on Batman?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think the last one was a bit poor, but this is Rocksteady though, isn't it, doing this time? So they call it the trilogy, don't they? So it should be a brilliant game, really worth waiting for.
Gotta say, interested me.
Looking forward to it. Yeah. But we'll have to see more of next year's E3, I think, to wait to see more of Batman.
And talking of next year's E3, the show ended with Andrew House coming on, thanking everybody. Great show. I thought it was ready for ending. I couldn't believe it was 4 o'clock, actually, to be truthful. Then he says that basically here's one clip that we know you're waiting for, and of course, great cheers, great everything. Uncharted 4, very early clip, all the voices. Drake was there. It looked fantastic, but it really is, and I've heard people speak that it's really early rendering of this game. It's very in early stages. But are you interested in Uncharted 4, Ricky, being a PS4 owner?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I need to say. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do they interest you, Steve? I mean, it's one of these exclusive games that's not on your console. Would it ever interest you?
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, the Tomb Raiders of these worlds, it's very similar sort of stuff. Finally, if I did notice, though, is this going to be the last one? The one they were talking? He said one more last time in the video.
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, there was a comment. Shall we do it one last time? Like, yeah, you're right. Will this be the last Uncharted? Some people actually, I've heard talking.
Kill him off.
Yeah, I've heard talking on podcasts. Is it about time this was killed off? Because they'd like to see that studio Naughty Dog make a brand new IP, and I think that's a lot of talk I heard prior to E3 was people saying, would you rather have a brand new Uncharted, or would you like them to come on and say, here's a brand new IP? I'm not bothered either way, but I would like to see this being the last one, and I would also like to see them that they've had a great new IP in the pipeline, I've got to say. That's one of the top ones on the PlayStation at the minute, aren't they? The exclusive developers. So, right then, that was it. It was 2 hours long. I've got to say, views. I know that Steve's probably a little bit hard to do this, not having no interest, but obviously not getting a chance to play or look forward to the stuff. Views on how the show went first, then we'll go round and have us marks again from yesterday. Ricky, thoughts on the show, because you are a PS4 owner, so you was more interested, I guess. Thoughts?
Yeah, very, very pleased. Some fantastic stuff coming out. The Vita integration, as always. Looking forward to. For some reason, I'm more looking forward to bloody Minecraft than I am all these. I just want to play that on the Vita. I want to play it on the Vita. I don't know why. You know.
Yeah. But you, to be honest though, Ricky, you are more of a traveller, aren't you? So this kind of thing, actually, the Vita for you, I guess, is an amazing piece of kit that is just great for you. So
absolutely. You know, but yes, I'm looking forward to GTA. I know that's not PlayStation exclusive, but the fact that they've actually dated it is finally, you know, it's been in the pipeline for a while, and just some amazing stuff. Uncharted, Littlebigplanet, I'm going to probably pick up.
If you could only pick one out of the show, your favourite game that you saw on that stage.
Ask Steve. I'll come back to you in a minute. I'm just
Steve,
thinking.
the show. Did you enjoy it, mate? Being an Xbox fan.
It was okay. As I say, unfortunately, it was a bit too hardware orientated at some points. That made it a bit low for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more games, but some of the games we're still going to be getting as well. Some exclusives I'd like to see. Batman, I'm looking forward to. So yeah, it was worth it. I'm glad I sit and watched it anyway. If I hadn't been doing the podcast, I may have just skipped it and just looked at the reviews. To be honest. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, my views of it. I mean, I thought it was a great show. There was some low moments. I mean, it's hard not to have low moments in a show like that. Personally, as a PS4 owner, I thought there was some exciting stuff. What I liked personally was the kind of stuff I spoke about a little bit yesterday, where I was disappointed with Xbox for not giving us original IPs, where I must admit that PlayStation actually showed quite a lot of that, and I like that. There was quite a few games in there that are new, are fresh, that do look forward to, as well as the mix of the old stuff, the Uncharted's, all the other stuff that's coming. I like the show. It showed me as my favourite console, I guess. There is a lot to look forward to. Surprised they didn't show any Drive Club. Mentioned that earlier. Surprising that was one thing on there. Disappointed they didn't give us any news on PlayStation Now. Although having said that, I don't think I'd use it much anyway, if I'm being truthful. It's not something I go back to things like that to. Overall, I enjoyed the show. I thought they handled it quite well. Nice again, although I was going to say glitch-free. They had a tiny few glitches at the start with audio problems, if you remember.
I know.
A couple of the guys' microphones were having trouble, which is a shame. It's hard to do, that must be. So, yeah, before we go around the scores then, Ricky, one game you out the lot, which caught your eye?
I think Far Cry 4. I think that's. I mean, I know it's not a new IP, but it's more of what I really like, and it looked incredible. So Far Cry 4 for me. Not game of the show. Not announcement of the show. I was actually thinking out of the two, I'll maybe give you what I think was the best.
Okay, we'll come to that. Yeah, we'll come to that. What was your favourite looking game on this show then, Steve? What we thought was the highlight?
No Man's Sky, without a doubt.
Yeah,
that to me was the best.
I will agree with you, Steve, but if we're going to do what Ricky does before the scores, good idea, let's take these two. And before we do this, guys, I just want to say, I know that there's some Nintendo fans out there. Their keynote was this evening, I think, or today. I am going to get time to look at it. I guess the guys will pick up on it as well. It's only fair. But that will be in the show on Sunday. We will do a regular podcast on Sunday as normal. We will do that and we'll cover their highlights. So don't feel left out. It is obviously, none of us have got that console, so it is a little bit hard to do, but we will cover it. Before we say, don't be disappointed. Back to us then, guys. Highlight of the entire show that we've seen, giving the big two guys. What's your, Ricky, the best thing you've seen?
I know this is unbelievable, but I think the bundling of the Halo on the Xbox One, that is dragging me over to the green side. I really, if I'm going to pick one up, if that's in the bundle, that's there's so much gameplay, so many hours in that. What for £50, $60?
So that was your highlight, the Halo bundle.
That is, yeah. I think that because that was a real curveball. Nobody really thought that they were going to, because they are rebooting some series. I think reboot everything was.
There was rumours, there were rumours that it was going to show some old version or something. But yeah, to do it the way that it was pretty cool, I've got to say. What about you, Steve? The highlight of both shows, or the best thing you saw?
Well, I would agree with Ricky to a certain degree, but I'm so pleased to see Crackdown coming back. That is something I'll be looking forward to as well. After enjoying and spending many hours hunting for orbs in the first one, I can't wait for that. That'd be really good.
I have to say, I'm with you. Crackdown, just highlights were good. I mean, to be truthful, I'd heard a rumour about half an hour before that. I'd caught it somewhere that Crackdown was going to be shown on the stage, so that actually slightly put a dampener on that for me. But my favourite of both, I'm going with No Man's Sky for the simple reason that it just looked fresh, new. It offered the kind of gameplay I like, but I also want to give a shout out to Far Cry 4 for the simple reason, same as Ricky said, it looks stunning, and I didn't enjoy Far Cry 3 that much, so they're the two for me. So marks out of 10 for Sony, Ricky. Go for it. What are you going to give it?
Yeah, I'm going to give it about a 9. It's not a full scale to 10. You know, I think the fact that everything, you know, the new IPs, the amount of exclusives they've got as well, the Division, not the Division, sorry, the Order, and Destiny, a lot of the other stuff on Destiny, and just the amount of stuff that they have got is just slightly, just for me, just slightly edging it on Microsoft, and the Vita integration, and the fact they're still supporting quite well on the PS3. Yeah, 9 for me. It probably wasn't as good as last year. They didn't have those.
No, but
we won't be looking back at this next year like we did last year.
No, I don't think last year will ever be topped ever again. I don't. I think that was just an amazing show. I mean, Steve, scores out of 10 for the Sony show.
I'm going to give it a 7, just for the reason that it's obviously I haven't got the console, but I still enjoyed some of the stuff that was there.
Okay, cool. I will give it overly. I will give it an 8.5. I did like the way it was presented. I like the fact of new IPs was the best side for me. And as an owner, and as I say, slightly favourite console, it offered a lot of things to look forward to. One slight thing I would comment on, and I think I saw this after the show, there wasn't much shown AAA-wise for the PS4 that's coming out this autumn. So I would have liked to see more pushed for big titles. There are some stuff coming out, and I tell you something what I didn't like on both sides of the score. None of them showed much coming out this summer, did they? So it still looks like we're going to have a lean period from now until autumn.
It's more betas, isn't it? Yeah. Play testing betas and alphas in July onwards. So I think that nothing's coming out during the World Cup, which is a good thing.
yeah, obviously.
You know, they're sensible there. There was an interesting comment right at the very beginning. Is it Andrew, the guy? He kept mentioning. He kept mentioning. Plays best and looks best on this console. He kept driving that comment in.
Oh, did he go on? Come on, I was going. We know.
But do you know what? I mean, let's be honest. It's his place to do that, and he's not lying. We've all witnessed it for the first how many months. It's been driven every game that comes out. People can't wait to jump on any game that comes on the Xbox and it's not running at any frame rates or whatever. So he's
P's this, P's that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it is though, isn't it? You know, and it can't be helped. So, but anyway, there it is, guys.
What was your biggest disappointment?
Fallout 4.
Yeah, no, that was Friday. No, and it's funny,
Still
Steve.
My thunder.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of feeds after, and it was everywhere. Where is this? You know, Fallout 4 not a mention or nothing, and I think we all agree on that.
I've got a theory on that. I think they're sat in the shadows. They're waiting to watch all the announcements and all the dates, and they're going to pick their moment to put it into this year. They're going to. I reckon we'll see an announcement before summer and a release for November. There's not much coming out in November. You know, there's quite a bit, but
yeah, but
Far Cry and.
But you know, things like that. Like I've said before, I think Steve mentioned something yesterday when they're going to save something. This is the time to announce things like that. If they were to come on stage on any console last night and said, PS4, Xbox, we're coming out Fallout 4, and it's out November, it would have raised the roof, and it would have been the highlight of both.
Just quickly though, there's something that was not mentioned at all, but was done with Ubisoft, was the Rainbow game.
The thing is with that, what you've got to think though, Steve, and I highly recommend this, I was going to finish the show with this, Ubisoft have their own show. EA have their own show. Go and watch both of them because I've heard big things from both. So
yeah, I watched it last night. I watched it late last night, and it was weird.
Rainbow Six did look weird. I saw 5 minutes play of it with a lot of damageable, scenery, and it looked very strange, very weird. The gunplay was weird. Go and watch it. It might be worth talking about this weekend. I'm now going to do for the next 2 days probably have a look at all the stuff that we...
Everything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, guys, that is it. Hope you enjoyed the last 2 shows. We will be back on Sunday. We will cover the stuff probably that we will just said that we've learned from now until the weekend. So, really, from all 3 of us, it is getting dark. Look, as you can see, we've not put the lights on. I'm going to be tired soon. So anyway, until the weekend, hope you've enjoyed these shows. He's turning the lights off. Until next time, from me anyway, bye for now.
See you later.
Bye. See ya.
See you guys.
Yeah.